Hello, welcome to episode 270. We're going to make some ice blocks that crack and break when stood on. It's already there. Yes, I thought I would try showing you what we're going to make. I know it's taken 270 episodes to get to this point, but that way you can see what we're going to be making. So this is our ice block, and we're going to stand on it. If we get off in time, it heals back up. If we don't get off in time, it breaks. So you can have this sort of scenario that people have to jump from one to the other. Okay, so that's what we're going to be making in this video. Adding this little intro was a bit of an afterthought, so in a minute, or in a second for you, you're going to get the other intro as well. Bye-bye. Hello, welcome to episode 270. We're going to be making an ice block that cracks slowly and breaks eventually the longer you stand on it. So stand on it for a little bit, it's like crack, 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 break, and down you fall. You know, the common staple in platform games. I'm going to need a timer for it, so let's do that first. We're in version 1.19.4 at least, because you need the display block. Scoreboard, objectives, add. I want a timer, so I'm going to call it timer. Dummy, boom, bang, there we go. This is where I'm going to create my block. Fill, tab, tab, tab. Let's get those coordinates. And now we'll create the block. And we'll also destroy the block. In fact, let's do the destroy block first, because it's much easier. Remove block. We will kill any entity whose tag equals myDisplay will do. That. And we will set block at those coordinates to air. Replace, don't need to type it, it defaults to replace. Okay, well, we can test that. Well, hey, it works. All right, next one. Let's create the block. Create block. Done. Okay, so first thing, I'm going to summon a block display. Summon a block display at those coordinates, and we got a lot of stuff to type in here. Tags. What did we tag it as a minute ago? myDisplay. Now we have to set its transformation information. Transformation. So we've got a left rotation. We've got a right rotation. We don't have to play with them, luckily. I hate playing with them. We've got a translation. Almost. Now we have. And we've got a scale. Okay. Let's fill them in. Left rotation. 0F, 0F. That's not a 0. 0F. 0F, 0F. 1F. There we go. I'm just going to copy that. Copy, and we'll put it into right rotation. Copy, and I'll pop it into translation as well, but we'll take that one off. And scale, 1F, 1F, 1F. Okay. So we're not going to rotate it left, we're not going to rotate it right, we're not going to move it in any direction using translation, and its scale will be 100%, 1. Right, what else do we need? We need to say what block it is. Block state, open and close. I'm going to use name, open and close that, Minecraft frosted ice, the ice you get when you use Frostwalker boots. Okay, and I want to set a property on it. Properties, open and close properties, and I want to set its age to 0. Okay, so open block state, open properties, close block state. We'll go in here. I'm going to set a brightness, because we're going to be putting this inside another block, so it'll probably be dark if we don't do this. Brightness, and we'll have sky, which we'll set to 15, and we'll have block, which we'll also set to 15. Okay, and do we need anything else? No, I think that's enough. Okay, Done. Let's copy and paste that, pop it down there. I'm going to use glass. Glass. Done. F3D to clear the chat. Place that. Uh-oh, we've got that problem. Oh, I see two problems. We've got a little bit of flicker because it can't decide to render the glass block or the display entity because they're on exactly the same place. So we're gonna have to make this a little bit bigger and move it. Right, let's do the moving first because that's the easier bit. Translation minus 0.5 minus 0.5 on the translation. Done. Okay. Flicker is minimal, but it's still there. I'd like to remove it. They're occupying exactly the same spaces. So I'm going to make the display entity just a tiny bit bigger. But if we make the display entity bigger, we're also going to have to change its translation offset. So its scale. Let's add 0.1. That should be all right. That should be enough. Now we want to change its offset. So if we're going up by 0.1, we should offset by half of that. Okay. There we go. Now we can see just there, block display is just a little bit bigger. So now the game is happy. It says, I know which one to render. They're not in the same place. I'm happy. And we can stand on it. There we go. Right. Let's make a controller. In fact, we'll make two controllers. Where we'll have repeat. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to do this controller first because this is just going to be show markers. This is going to be the easy one. We will execute at any entity. This is just for testing purposes. Type equals marker, run, make some particles, make a particle of dust. We'll have lots of red, no green, no blue, and one in that channel, which I never remember what that channel is. It's always one when I do it. At those coordinates, we'll have it quite small on the X, quite small on the Y, quite small on the Z. We'll have no speed, and we'll just have one particle, and we won't force it. We'll just leave that as default. Turn that on. Okay. Now, let's get on with the proper controller, the one that does all the stuff. If I stand on glass, I want to summon a marker at my position in the center of the block, unless there is already a marker there. Okay. So execute as. I wish we don't need to do it as me, we'll just do at all players. Nope, just add all players, unless there is an entity. Type E, type equals marker, tag equals my marker, why not? Always check your spellings. And a distance. Distance equals 0 to 0.9, just under a block. So if there's no entity there, and if the block a little bit beneath me, 0.1, is glass, then we will align to the X and Z. We will run summon a marker at those coordinates, but we're aligned currently to X and Z right in the corner. So let's bring that out to the middle of the block so it's centered. And we better give it a tag, because we're referring to it by tag, and we were referring to it by my marker. Okay, so if there's no marker there already, and I'm standing on glass, make a marker. So I should just get a marker if I stand on this. I don't get a marker. Okay, why not? We've obviously done something wrong. Let's read the command. Execute at all players, no problem there. unless there's an entity, which is a marker, in that distance, no problem there. If the block minus 0.1 is glass, no problem there. And now I'm looking at this. Did I even turn it on? Sometimes the problems are the silliest things. There it is, there's our marker. And if we stand here, we shouldn't be getting more. We can do a little check. Execute as all entities. Tag equals my marker. Run, say hi. Okay, how many highs did we get in the chat? Let's clear the chat. F3D, run that command again. We've got one high in the chat, so we've only got one marker. Cool. Now we want to do a load of stuff. We want that marker to have an age, but only if I'm standing on the block. So if I'm standing on the block, we want the age to go down. And if I get off the block, I'm going to make the age go back up again. So it's going to heal itself effectively. So let's do those two commands. Let's make its score go up and down. We will execute as any entity, type equals marker, tag equals my marker, at itself, if entity nearest player will do, yep. Distance equals 0 to 0.9. Run scoreboard players. Add to that marker timer 1. Okay, done. Let's stick that score onto the sidebar so we can see it. Scoreboard, objectives, set display, sidebar, timer. So if I stand on it, nothing's happening around here. If I stand on it, it should start getting, there we go, his score's going up. Cool, but now I want the score to go down as well. Okay. We will execute as any entity, type equals marker, tag equals my marker, and scores equals timer is 1 or higher, because I want it to stop at 0. Am I happy with that? No, because it doesn't work. What have we done wrong? Execute as any entity, type equals marker, tag equals timer, scores equals timer 1. Timer equals. There we go. Oh dear me. Bug finding. Or more typos, I suppose. So it's a marker. It's talking to what, right? Yeah, cool. At itself, because we're going to check player's distance, unless we're going to do an unless this time, unless entity at nearest entity distance equals 0 to 0.9. Run scoreboard players remove yourself timer 1. Done. Aha! Now your score's gone down and you stopped at 0. Nice. So we stand on it, score goes up, we get off, score goes down. On, off. Perfect. Okay. Let's start doing something. Let's get another block here. Execute at any entity. Type equals marker, tag equals my marker. And we're going to use a score this time as well. Scores equals timer equals, let's say 1. And then we will do positioned, because at the moment it's executing at the marker. We want to execute where that block is. So we're just going to go down 1. Now we've gone down into the block. And we will run data modify any entity, data modify any entity, tag equals myDisplay. We have to have a limit. Limit equals 1. Now it's happy. You see, now we've got the limit. And we'll just do sort equals nearest. Sort equals nearest. And I'm going to change its block state dot properties dot age set value to 0. Now we're not going to notice any difference at the moment because its value is already 0. So as it counts up, nothing's going to happen. But this is more when it's more cracked and it's counting back down again. Okay. Let's control middle mouse and copy that entire block. And all I'm going to do is go in here and change this value to 1. And then I'm going to go and find its timer. Timer equals 1. Well, let's change its timer to 10. Done. Now, we've got a little. There we go. If you could just see it quickly. We know this is working. Let's get rid of that, and let's get rid of that scoreboard as well because we know that's working. So let's get it out of the way. Now, if we look closely, it will go crack, and as it counts back down, heals itself. Cool. That'd be nicer if it had a sound, actually. Let's copy this block, control middle mouse, put it down again, and we'll find execute at the marker, my marker, scores equals 10, positioned a little bit lower. So we don't want to data modify. Go to the end. We will play sound. I suppose glass breaking. Yeah, that's probably block dot glass dot break. We'll play it on the master channel. We'll play it for all players at those coordinates. Let's make it a bit quieter because it's pretty loud. So let's go 0.4. Let's raise the pitch a bit just so it sounds a bit different. And the minimum volume of 0. Done. And I'm going to make that conditional as well. Why not? It only has to run if this one runs. Ooh, I like it. Doesn't clink as it goes back to clear, because remember we didn't put a sound for the first one. Okay, I'm going to clear my inventory. And what I'm going to do now is basically these two commands again. I'm going to control middle mouse that one and that one. Put one in, and this one is conditional. And we're going to go in here. And instead of setting that to 1, we'll set that to 2. And then let's go here and we'll find timer 20. And here, timer 20. Okay, so what are we doing? Let's have a look. We're making the marker, if there isn't one. We're making the score go up. We're making the score go down. If the score equals 1, we set its block state, its age to 0. If the timer equals 10, we set it to 1 and play a sound. If it equals 20, we set it to 2 and play a sound. Okay, let's test that. Oh, yes. And it heals itself. Okay, now I'm going to do the same again. In fact, we've already got a copy of those two blocks, so we'll use them. Let's put 1 down, 1 down. This one is conditional. And instead of setting it to 2, this time we'll set it to 3. And well, I suppose we've done 10, 20. It would make sense to do 30. And we'll go in here to 30. Do you know what? Actually, with these play sounds, I think I'm going to make it a bit louder each time as well. Let's 0.4, 0.6. And let's make this one 0.8. Maybe it's a bit more of a warning for the player. Hey, watch out, it's getting louder. Let's try this. Oh, nice. Okay. Now we have to destroy it. So let me clear that so you know exactly which block I'm going to grab. I'm going to grab this one here. Mainly because I want all this beginning stuff. Execute at marker, tag match timer 40. Positioned a little bit lower. Shift N. Let's get rid of all of that. Right. Okay. First of all, I'm going to kill the block display because this is when it's vanishing. So let's kill that entity. I'm just going to do tag equals myDisplay. Tag equals myDisplay. That's spelled correctly. Yeah. Distance equals, well, we're executing right at the block, so we can just do something like 0.1. So that will kill it. Okay, happy with that. Done. Let's control middle mouse that block. Put it down. Let's remove this bit at the end, the kill bit. So we've still got the same. We're executing at the marker, my marker, scores equals 40, positioned inside the block. Let's play the sound. Play sound. Block dot glass dot break on the master channel for all players at those coordinates, and that's full volume. Keep the pitch changed, minimum volume 0, so if you walk away you don't have to hear it. Done. Let's control middle mouse that block, put it down. Get rid of everything after the run. And we will set block at those coordinates. Air. Replace. Done. And let's copy that block, put it down. Let's do some particles for the glass breaking. Otherwise it'll just vanish. Let's put some particles. Let's take everything off the end. So we've still got the same beginning. Still execute at the marker. My marker scores equals 40. Positioned inside the block, not at the marker. Particle. Block. Glass. At those coordinates. Let's have a little bit of a spread on the X, on the Y, and on the Z. No speed. And I don't know, quite a few particles, probably 50. Done. Okay, now these ones, what have we got here? Actually, we should kill the marker as well. Let's kill that marker too. Put this on the end. Execute. Actually, we just do kill. Kill any entity. Type equals marker. Tag equals my marker. Scores equals timer equals, what did we say, 40? That should do it. 40 or higher I've put here, doesn't matter. It won't get higher. It'll get to 40 and die. So 40 and higher. Okay, now all of these only need to run if this first one runs, so we can just make all of these conditional. Like so. Now I think that's going to work. I think I need to do a little bit of tidying up as well, though. I think if we walk away from the block and the block has healed itself, we don't want to be leaving markers everywhere. So let's get rid of the markers that are going to be lying around. Let's get a fresh block. Let's execute at as any entity, type equals marker, tag equals my marker, and scores equals timer equals 0. So it's gone back to 0. It's fully healed. There's no point having a marker there. So at yourself, if entity, the nearest player, distance equals, oh no, you're more than half a block away. Yeah, that'll do. Run kill yourself. Done. That will tidy that up, so we won't be leaving markers everywhere. And I think we've also got a problem that if a marker's got no score, some things might not work. So let's force the marker to at least have a score of 0. So let's execute as any entity, type equals marker, tag equals my marker, unless its score for itself, its timer score, equals its own timer score. Okay, so if it's got no score at all, it's actually not 0, but it's null, this will work. Because it'll say, well, you haven't got a score, so your score doesn't equal your score, so I am going to give you a score. And I will give you a score of 0. Okay, if it's got a score of anything, doesn't matter what it is, say it's got 10, 10 equals 10, it won't work. 20 equals 20, it won't work. Null, we will now set it to 0. Okay, I'm feeling relatively confident. I'm going to clear my chat, just maybe so I don't weigh so much. Well, let's have a go. Ooh, I quite like that. Okay, let's turn on our markers as well, our particles to see the markers. Make sure we're not leaving stuff lying around. Let's get off it. It's cool. It healed. And the marker went. Perfect. Okay, so it's healed up. We can go off. We get off. We can get on. Ooh, okay. Can we have 2? Let's have 2 blocks. Let's just copy that and that. Put you down there, put you down there. We won't bother labeling this one. We could just say, look. Oh, look, we can. We can just do that. There we go. We will label it. Let's get another block. Let's put it here. Fill, tab, tab, tab. Copy that. Home. Stick it in there. In fact, I know it's positive Z, so I could probably just do 15 there, can't I? And 15 there. Done. Let's have 1. Let's have 2. Let's clear chat. Ooh. Let's turn those off. Oh, look, now you've got some sort of horrible game where you've got to keep jumping between them. Otherwise, one of them's going to break and you're going to fall. Cool. Oh, well, I like that. I'm quite pleased with that. Okay, that is how we make our sort of degrading platforms. I don't mean degrading as they're insulting us. Degrading as in they slowly break and then disappear and we fall to our deaths. Okay, there we go. Bit of a longer one today. I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.